Hey guys, welcome back to the Windsor Time channel. Today we are talking about a very, in my opinion, unique Rolex day date and something you just don't see a lot. I think outside of the one on the table, I've seen one of our friends has one.
Yep.
But then outside of that, something just unique that has come into the store and will be available hopefully when this video goes up. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Happy to be here, and this is a fun watch to talk about today.
It is.
We've only had one or two come through Windsor or Windsor Time period. I don't think ever come through Windsor Time, but a few kind of local that we know of in North Carolina. But this one's pretty special and something different. So
yeah, absolutely.
But what are you wearing, my friend?
So today I have something less rare than this. I have my Omega Speedmaster on. And I have it on, so it's funny, the bracelet on this is so good, but I was in Chicago at this one a couple months ago or a month ago, and we went into the Omega boutique, and Omega isn't a watch I would buy new, just because for the most part they depreciate at least a little bit. So, we were in there and it was just the nicest sales guy, a little bit younger, and really took the time to talk with me and my girlfriend and ask us about watches and was actually into it. So I was like, I need to buy something. So I paid $130, $150 for the NATO strap, which is
it looks good.
It looks great. I've never paid more than $30 for a NATO strap, I don't think. But again, I feel like when you see someone, especially in the watch industry and retail, who just provides excellent service out of nowhere.
Honestly, you wish you could say that to everyone because that's what it's all about. I mean, in today's world, if people didn't want some sort of connection or some sort of service, they would just click a button, and many people are clicking a button. But I mean, when you actually have that connection and good service, we're all here to support the network and the industry and the hobby, and that's part of it is not just paying up, but just paying a reasonable price for something.
And this is one, we're both Bond fans, obviously. And, with Spectre, this was, I think this is the strap that came out at that time on that Seamaster 300. So I love that movie. I don't know if it's my favorite Bond, but it's
it's a good one.
It's top
they're all
4.
Good,
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're all good, but some of the older ones are a little
there's some
a little cheesy. But comment below your favorite James Bond movie if you guys are into it. But what about you? What do you have on?
So I am wearing, also not as rare as this beauty that we're about to talk about, but my Tudor Black Bay, and kind of original launch piece with the rose dial. So the smiley, as some people like to call it, where it still had the ETA movement and a little less text on the dial, and that self-winding on a curve versus the current straight line. And I have just always loved this watch. This is one of those near and dear watches that I probably don't wear enough, but it is kind of could easily be your only watch.
Oh, for
Does everything. Obviously kind of reminiscent of a no-date sub, essentially is a no-date sub. And I love personally the non-shield dial with Tudor, the Tudor Rose, and having the Tudor Rose on the crown to kind of echo it. Just a super great watch, and kind of does everything, and it's not like a hyper collectible thing, but just something that is near and dear to me. And I have the feeling there's not a single that I know of Tudor Rose piece in the current collection. I bet you at some point they'll come out with here's a one-off rose dial or large rose dial piece or something like that. So that'll be cool to see.
It obviously we're talking about watches and wonders today, and that's one. So I guess we've known each other for 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years now. And that is a watch that I've seen you wear, time and time again. When it came out, obviously, but that is something that you guys wear quite a lot. I think even Jade wears it occasionally.
Jade, actually has a blue one, so it's kind of we have a couples set, if you will. So awesome. But love this watch, and that's not to diminish the current one with the actual in-house movement is unbelievable too. There was just something special at this time when we got this. Tudor relaunched, and this was one of the heavy hitters, along with the burgundy and the blue at that time. So just a cool piece that kind of does everything. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys haven't, check out our Watches and Wonders video that we're going to do right after this, actually. So for some fun Tudor insights.
A lot of not many releases by Tudor this year, but they were all unbelievable. So
they were
really cool.
Go watch that video if you haven't already. We'll have a link in the description below. But anyway, the main topic for today and what we're diving into is this Rolex? Tell
We
us
have
about it.
this really cool 1985 serialized date year Tridor date. So this is not just one precious metal, but at the time all three precious metals used specifically on the bracelet.
Yeah.
And then you've got white gold and yellow gold, I believe, on the white gold on the case and yellow gold on the bezel. And just a really wild, funky, very 80s Rolex that I feel like they could do, once again, a one-off of today, and it would go crazy.
For sure.
Everyone would have fun with it. But I admittedly don't know if in the middle of the 80s, if this watch came out and it was perceived as something wild, or if it was very much just right in line with the mindset and the mood of that time period.
Yeah.
Once again, maybe someone in the comments can be like, oh, I was there and it was wild and this was a crazy thing, or no, this was a pretty, par for the course watch at the time.
Right.
But looking back today, I mean, there's just nothing quite like that.
No.
In the current collection. Really cool watch. This came in different variations. This one is the diamond marker version. Technically, I would almost call this a salmon dial. It's like it leans into that. It's kind of more of a champagne colored dial that is like leaning into a coppery.
Yeah.
It walks the line. I admittedly don't know the exact color code on this or what the dial was called. But it's a beautiful watch. And
it's killer.
What do you think about it?
So you talk about, and I'm going to speculate as well because I wasn't quite around then or into watches.
I was there, but I was like 1 year old.
Yeah.
So.
If you think about 80s and 90s Rolex, what was it? It was yellow gold day date and a two-tone Datejust. So, and again, this is wild speculation, but I can imagine, it's 1985. I'm going to buy a Rolex. Maybe I don't quite want a full yellow gold day date, but I have a little bit more extra money than what the Datejust would have been. Maybe this was the appealing option of, hey, I don't want to go full casino, Vegas, flashy, whatever, which I love day dates and love one. But, this is something that, again, to the very untrained eye, almost looks like a watch that I own, a two-tone, 36 millimeter Datejust with a Jubilee style bracelet because of that. Yeah, how it's like broken up. So I don't know. I mean, it's wild to us now. But in period, I wonder if this was like sort of very sleeper, like if you know, kind of piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like that, honestly. And it, like you said, it from across the room, for all intents and purposes, looks like a Datejust on the wrist.
Yeah,
wears like a Datejust 36. It is a 36 millimeter. Obviously, at the time, there was not a 40 millimeter day date like there is today.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of a low key, interesting, build of a watch. I mean, it's like a wild piece to look at today. But at the same time, if you look at what Rolex is doing now between like the puzzle piece dial day date, and celebration dial and other fun things. I mean, they're doing some wild stuff today as well. So this wouldn't be that outlandish to see a new version of it come out.
Yeah, well, and from a brand perspective, I can't remember where I heard if it was on a podcast or read an article or something, and you can probably speak to this. Rolex's flagship watch is not the Daytona. It's not the Sky Dweller. From what I've always understood and heard, it is the day date. The day date is like the thing that they love to push. It's their heritage.
I would say every watch at Rolex is kind of a flagship at this point. There are all these different, linear, just
for sure. But if you think of the made it
for
Rolex,
sure, yeah.
It's always been either a Datejust at one point or.
Traditionally a 36 millimeter yellow gold day date was kind of that delineating watch that said, I have done the thing.
For sure.
And this is a way to do that in a fun way.
Yeah,
a little break the norm of that classical yellow gold piece.
Yeah, no, this is just so fun. I mean, as, again, someone who loves the brand, to have something, you don't, with Rolexes, I feel like the unique ones look almost the exact same as the normal ones, but there's like a long E or a different crown or stuff like that. But with this, you have such a strikingly different thing than the other models. It is a really cool and unique piece.
I agree. A couple quick little things about this specific one. The bracelet is extremely non-flexed for a precious metal Rolex from the mid 80s. I mean, it is a straight line piece. It is in great condition. I mean, close to unworn. The bracelet date code is also matching the case, which is great. Whereas sometimes you see something with a, it's close but not, close but no cigar.
Sure.
And just the diamond dial sets it apart a little bit too. I mean, you see a lot of these with Roman numeral dials, but the baguette 6 and 9, and then the other diamond indices just kind of make this something kind of unique.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. Personally, I would love to see Rolex bring this back into modern interpretation. Like you said, I don't think it's, and again, if you haven't watched our Watches and Wonders video, go do so. We'll talk about more so there, this kind of stuff, but with it being kind of a sleeper year, if you will, it'd be cool maybe next year, maybe 10 years from now, who knows, to see something like this come out. I think before you saw the puzzle dial day date, the emoji dial day date would have been unthinkable. But with what came out, was that last year or the year before, those pieces?
One of last year.
Yeah, in very recent history,
puzzle dial, puzzle.
Yeah, or even if you're looking at the Oyster Perpetual, the what's the one with the dots all over it?
The Celebration.
Yeah, dial. That. Yeah. I mean, they're having fun. They're having fun, and they always have with the different, especially with the different dial variations, and other pieces we've seen. In that day collection. But truly an incredible piece.
What's cool to maybe leave off on, and something that I think is important about Rolex, it's important about Patek Philippe as well, and a few other brands, but this brand is not doing things because a boardroom full of people says this is going to be a hit. They are doing things, they are making things and have made things that is not going to be everyone's favorite.
Sure.
And I think that's important versus just building something that's clearly a winner, but it's streamlined and vanilla, and they're not afraid to take risks, and they weren't afraid to take risks in the middle of the 80s apparently.
Yeah,
so
no, not at all. But a very cool watch. Like I said, we have a Watches and Wonders video. Go check that out as well. If this is up by the time that this video is live, we'll put it in the description as well. If you ever need a pre-owned watch, go to windsortime.com or pop in to one of the locations. And as always, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.